All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Look, man, I thought we were done with Chavez Jr. I haven't made one video about this dude fighting Daniel Jacobs because of everything surrounding it. This guy is a disgrace to the Chavez family as far as being a boxer. This guy was never dedicated to the sport. He is in this because of his father. And the thing is, he's not a bad fighter at all. He's not bad. He's not a bad fighter. I mean, coming up, he was coming up in a time where the middleweight division was kind of weaker. You know, this is like the post Bernard Hopkins time where Sergio Martinez was running the show. And, you had a bunch of guys that really weren't that great, as far as pound for pound is concerned. Uh, but he beats Andy Lee, which is a good win. Andy Lee was a good fighter. He was a good fighter. He was solid. And, at some point he goes on to fight Sergio Martinez. And Sergio clearly outboxes him up into that 12th round. Chavez almost stole a win there. It almost did what the John Molina did against Mickey Bay, right? He almost did one of those where he almost ends up stopping Martinez late in that fight. He didn't, and obviously Martinez gets the win. But everything leading to that fight kind of rubbed me off about Chavez Jr. He was just smoking marijuana, and he wasn't training, he wasn't preparing right, whatever. He seemed like a spoiled little brat. I mean, back then they had like a 24/7 on HBO special or something. I think it was that fight. I think it was the Sergio Martinez fight. But anyway, then he would just blow up, and he went up in weight, and he had these couple fights. And he was like, all right, he's fighting these guys, and somehow he gets to fight Andre Fafara up at 175, and he looks terrible in that fight, right? Gets stopped. So I said, whatever. What the hell with Chavez? I mean, it is what it is. He's just there because who his father is. Then he fights Canelo. And then they have like this catch weight. And I'm saying to myself, there's no way he's going to make that catch weight at 164. Right? So he makes the weight. And he actually looks like he's ready to go. So I'm saying, okay, fight night comes and he's much bigger than Canelo. So I'm saying, oh, he's going to get Canelo against the ropes. He's going to pressure him. And he might get Canelo a good fight. Now, I didn't think he would lose. I didn't think Canelo was going to lose the fight. But I thought it would be a good fight. I was actually excited. The hype, they got me. Then he ends up getting shut out. I mean, there were plenty of opportunities there, and he just didn't let his hands go for whatever reason. He just didn't let his hands go. So I was done with him. I made a rant video about him back then. I was tired of this dude. And then he comes back, signs with the Zone to fight Daniel Jacobs. Jacobs moves up to 168, which we were expecting. He's been talking about moving up to 168 for a while. He even told me that, he was telling me how much he was drained, in the Canelo fight. So I think he belongs at 168. I mean, he was always a big middleweight anyway. He looks great. He looked great at that weigh-in, He looks full. So, Chavez, they're supposed to fight in Nevada, I think in Vegas. Chavez didn't want to take the test. They suspend him. Then Slick Eddie moves the fight to Phoenix, Arizona, where the fight is sanctioned or whatever, some mess. So right there was a red flag. I said, all right, I'm not supporting this fight at all. I love Danny, but I'm not supporting Chavez Jr. Like this guy, he wants to take these long layoffs and then come back for a quick money grab, and blows up in weight, and then he wants to juice. He's juicing. Clearly, he's juicing. Anyone that doesn't want to take a test is juicing. Anyone that you have to move around in order to get them fights, they're juicing. And I don't say that much on this channel, but he's juicing. Come on. He's juicing. So they doing all this stuff to accommodate Mr. Chavez Jr. He comes in a weigh-in. He's weighing nearly 5 pounds over the weight limit. Dude, are you serious? He's sucking all the air out of his stomach to make it look like he has abs. This guy's a joke, man. He's a joke. He's a disgrace to his father, man. He gives up $1 million to Jacobs, an extra million, just because he wasn't dedicated enough to make weight. I mean, how do you respect anyone like that? Like this guy, like how do you respect anyone like that? Jacobs says, I'll fight him anyway. They had Gabe Rosado on standby. Gabe is on the card as well, fighting, a journeyman. So they say, worst case scenario, because it's Chavez Jr., and we know that he's not disciplined at all, we'll have someone as a backup just in case this fool does something crazy. But Jacobs, I'll fight you anyway. So the fight comes. Shout out to IBFP. IBFP was on a rant this morning talking about this dude came in here looking like a snow cone. Yo, I spit up my coffee listening to this dude talk about Chavez Jr. this morning. Great video, right? Great rant video. I'm not doing a rant video because it's not worth ranting about. I mean, this is kind of like a rant, but this guy comes to the ring looking like a snow cone. And he's actually doing okay. Jacobs is winning the fight, but Chavez is landing some big right hands once or twice around. So, being that he's so much bigger, because he's ballooned up. People saying cruiserweight. I wouldn't go that far and say cruiserweight, but he's definitely fighting over a light heavy. Right? He definitely looks somewhere in the between a light heavy and a cruiser. Right? On fight night, like if he fought an actual top cruiser, he would look small against that person. But against Daniel Jacobs, who belongs at middleweight, super middleweight, he looks much bigger than him. Right? So Daniel Jacobs is doing the boxing, he's throwing the jabs, he's going to the body, he's doing everything. Right? But it doesn't seem to have much effect against Chavez. Chavez is landing big right hands. And that's, Jacobs looked fine. He looked good. But I didn't like that for Jacobs. I didn't like that because Chavez is a puncher. He could punch. And let me tell you something. What's so disappointing is if Chavez kept fighting like that, you never know. He might have landed a shot that would have actually hurt Jacobs and won him the fight. But the kid has no heart and he just loves to quit. And he was going to quit because he goes to his corner. He doesn't even sit down. He had no intentions of continuing that fight. Once they started wiping the blood off his nose, the kid said, I'm done. I got my check. I'm not going to continue. The fans go crazy. They're throwing shit on top of the stage. It's really messed up because these guys pay money to watch this dude. You pay money. This is a good fight. You're fighting Daniel Jacobs. You're supposed to, you know how Mexican fans are. You are the son of an all-time great fighter. You're supposed to be representing your people. And you go out like that? Oh, man. Chavez Jr., please. And this goes for Eddie. This goes for Eddie too. There's a little few things I didn't like. I didn't like with Eddie recently, but I don't like promoters. I really don't like any of them. Some of them I think are a little better than others, but You can't invest in fighters like this. You can't continue to invest so much money in fighters like this because this is what they do. Why are you investing in a guy that doesn't want to get tested? Why? Why? If you are concerned with these fighters like you claim you are, stop investing in fighters that don't want to take tests. Any fighter that wants to cut corners, don't invest in them because they're bad for the sport. He's toxic for the sport. This guy didn't want to take the test. They had to move the fight to a state where they would allow him to fight, right? He is risking your brand, Eddie. Guy didn't want to take the test. They had to move the fight. Guy is totally unprofessional. Shows up almost 5 pounds heavier. Looks like shit. Gives up a whole $1 million because he doesn't want to make weight. This goes to show how spoiled he is. I'm giving up $1 million because I don't want to cut down. You don't give guys like that opportunities. This is a golden opportunity. People would love to be in your position, and this is what he does with the opportunity he gets. He just pops up out of nowhere and gets paid just to quit. Total disgrace, man. I feel bad for anyone that bought tickets for that event. Um, but boxing fans, yo, man, you know what? We gotta start really boycotting this stuff. I said this about pay-per-view, but we gotta stop supporting these fighters that are doing it. Doesn't matter if they just because he's Mexican, whether you're Mexican, you're black, you're European, whatever it is you are, you can't support garbage because they will cut your throat, they will stab you in the back. It's a quick money grab for him. He's gonna go home on his way, and at some point people forget about it. In a couple of years, I bet you he'll probably do the same thing again. He's gonna disappear for a little bit, and then he'll probably pop back up. Or even if he doesn't pop back up, he already got your money. This is why I made no videos at all about this guy. This guy's a joke. Anyway, Daniel Jacobs ends up calling out Jamal Charlo and Triple G for a rematch. I really want the Jamal Charlo fight. I've been pressing that fight between him, Jamal, and Andre, or Jamal against uh, Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs and Andre feel that they're too close in order to fight each other. All right. Do I wish they would fight each other? I'm sure the fight would be easy to make. Yes, but they're not going to. All right. They made that clear from the very beginning that they're not going to fight each other. Whatever. Jamal Charlo has beef with Andre and Jacobs. I understand that Eddie Hearn recently sent him a offer to fight on dazn. I heard it was a big offer, or I read it was a huge offer. Hopefully, Jamal Charlo takes the offer. It's a good opportunity to get paid a lot of money, if it is a lot of money, and it's an opportunity for you to become unified. All right. So hopefully we get something. As far as Danny, other options: fight Callum Smith, fight Caleb Plant, fight Jose Benavides, or David Benavides. I'm sorry. Fight Billy Joe Saunders. I know everybody's waiting around for the Canelo sweepstakes, but if you don't get Canelo, uh, there's a lot of opportunities out there. All right. I just hope Danny does not go back down to 160. Because if you're going to fight Jamal, and Jamal says, yeah, I'll fight you, but at 160, don't suck yourself down to 160. We don't want to see you not at 100. I don't want to see it. We already seen you fight Canelo. Plus, you had a same day weigh-in. We don't want to see Danny not at his best in the future. Stay at middleweight. So stay at super middleweight. All right. So anyway, I think I covered all grounds. Uh, Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. All right. Peace.